Illusions of love. Our heart never breaks. Our heart never breaks. But when our relationship illusions shatter, it can be painful. Most of the time, it's very rare that the relationship is as clear as crystal. Some of the points in life, we're so scared we never discuss some of our secrets, which haunt us, don't they? We don't open up. Some human beings than others are addicted to bottling up their emotions. They don't want to share it with you for some scare, for some fear. Maybe that fear is illusionary. Maybe we don't discuss it because we think we will be exposed. Our flaws will be exposed to people. And the image that people have of us will be damaged. And I will lose my respect. These are the problems. If you read my character, I don't make a secret out of anything. I publicly discuss it. I want you to know me and draw a picture of me so that the picture that I have of me is not deception to myself. Most people in this world are pious just because they are, hiding their character. They have two faces. One, we don't really think that we're doing it, but we're doing it. And what we're doing it is subconsciously we know that we have to maintain some standards of behavior in front of people so that the image which they should have is pretty beautiful. But then those who are very close to us, we are naked. For example, if you ask anybody here about me, they will say, "You're a wonderful man." But if you ask my wife, she will tell you a different story. Then I realized it is not just our deeds, it is not just our actions which will make an image of us in others' mind. But most of the time, others already make a picture of us without our contribution to making of that picture. They already have some self-fabricated stories about us in their mind. Like, he's like this, he's... And then how they see us creates a story. And we always judge others. Sometimes actions are very tricky. Before you judge somebody on their actions, you must find out what is the intention behind the action. Sometimes our intentions are different than our actions. Our actions are not in total collaboration with our actions. Our intentions are hidden. Some people make it very clear through their actions what their intentions are. However, some people are not, they do not have mastery on expression. Therefore, they lack power of expression and they don't express it perfectly. Some people want to tell you something, but they don't know how to tell you. So they tell you things in bits and pieces, and you will be left under the mud of humongous confusion. For example, Faisal, if he will talk to you, he will read the ABC from Z, and after 1 hour he will come back to A. He will start it from the end. You know Z? Yeah. X? Yeah. And then Y? Yeah. And in the end he will say, I meant A. And this happens when your mind is confused. This happens when you don't know what do you want. This happens when you suppress yourself. This happens when you adopt a lifestyle which doesn't agree to your nature. For example, in Pakistan, people of this modern era, the young generation, they love westernization. But the society is so corrupt back home in our country. They have multiple standards. Nobody follows the religion. Neither the parents nor the grandparent followed it. They went to the mosque and at the same time they had girlfriends. They went to the mosque and at the same time they were corrupt in business. They were corrupt in their relationship with their wife, with their mother, with their father. So the best thing is that you open up to yourself at least, and know yourself, what do you want, and then adopt any lifestyle which is in agreement with your nature. Do you understand my point? Like yesterday, Brother Steve said, I'm a very solitary person. There is no harm in being solitary. If you are a solitary person, you want to be alone, you must be very sensitive too. Because those who are sensitive, they have extra bit of sense of everything, you know. And leading a solitary life will save you from different troubles in life. My point today is that we should know ourselves. We should know ourselves in the mirror of the truth. We should know ourselves how our mind reacts to emotions, how our mind reacts to weakness, and how our mind reacts to strength. If our mind is not sound, it is not going to react in weakness. And when the mind doesn't react to weakness perfectly, we are most likely to fall into the ditch of inferiority complex. And this is the case with most of the people in the world today. Your failures will push you to feel inferior. But you need to learn you're not inferior just because you failed. You need to find out, why did you fail, and rectify that mistake. I remember once Sarkar said, neither inferiority complex is good, nor superiority complex is good. You should stay in the middle. Both types of complex will make you blind. And what is in the middle? When you want to stay in the middle, then at failures, you don't curse yourself. You don't blame your fate. You find the reason why you failed. And when you are successful, then you need to find the reason why are you successful. It is because of those important things in life you did, you are successful. Not because you are something great. It's the policies, the different techniques that you worked in perfect coordination with your actions made you successful. And for me, if I am ever successful in anything, I attribute my success to Sarkar Gohar Shah's karam. And when I'm deep shit, I can see this is because I made a blunder. Honestly, when I see I am surrounded by problems, I am surrounded by inflictions and calamity and pain, I can see that this is not because of my fate. This is because of my wrong decisions. Had I not taken a wrong decision, I wouldn't be in this state. You need to overcome different traits in you which you might have developed. Sometimes failures can push you back and you will feel inferior. But there is nobody who tell you. Perhaps this is why God said, a true friend is one who tell you you're going wrong when you're going wrong. I mean, this covers a lot of problems. We're just leading our life without knowing ourselves. We don't know what do we want. You know, being parents, we just tell our kids, okay, become a doctor, become an engineer, adopt spirituality. And they don't even know what do they want in their life. When you do things that you don't want, you're always confused and you will always fail. You know, you don't have to be a spiritual man to know somebody's intentions, because intentions must transform into actions one day. Intentions cannot continue to be hidden forever. I mean, what are you intending? You must do according to your intentions. Whatever you want in your life. A day will come when your actions will manifest your intentions. Before finding faults with others, I think the best policy would be to keep a check and balance of our own self. We should want to know ourselves, how balanced or imbalanced spiritually and emotionally we are. Because sometimes we're ill, we don't know we're ill. You know why? If you do not know the symptoms of fever, you will never, never, ever understand you're suffering from fever. We must be aware of the symptoms of the disease. There are emotional disease, there are mental disease, there are behavioral diseases. But we don't know the symptoms. If you don't know the symptoms, for example, if the body is really hot and warm, this is a symptom that might be he is running some temperature. We don't carry the thermometer all the time. We just check the neck and the chest. Oh, it's really, really warm. I must be running temperature. So we know the symptoms. If you're sneezing a lot, we know the symptoms. Why do we sneeze? Sooner or later, we're going to suffer from cold. If our nose is blocked, we have a sore throat, and our body is completely drained out of energy. We can't stand on our feet, and we have body ache. These are the symptoms of flu. Because we know the symptoms. Therefore, we know what's going on. In a similar way, when the mind is not working properly and you have some behavioral issues, you have some emotional issues, some people go through emotional crisis every now and then, but they do not address the issue. The issue is still there. We need to fix these problems. But before we fix these problems, we have to have a diagnostic checkup of our own personality. And self-help is not always successful. Even when a doctor is ill, he has to see a doctor. Right? What do you think, my friend? When you say to yourself, "Oh, come on, I know everything. If there are some issues, I'll take care of it myself." Come on, baby. You can't do it yourself. Can you? Jealousy, anger, all these things, they are attached to our souls. People who do not have spiritual knowledge, they may work on these issues forever, and they will never be able to address them successfully. However, I tell you, how can you fix yourself? The more divine light enters your heart, the more divine light enters your carnal self, the more enlightened you are, the better you will get. However, you need to have a speedometer like we have in the car that tells us how much gas is left in the car tank. And then when the car is using the reserve gasoline, there is a light, orange color light, which means quickly go and fill up the baby. Right? Similarly, we should have a speedometer in our mind, and that speedometer is self-awareness. You should know yourself. Before people tell you you are wrong, you should know you are wrong so that you're not hurt. Is it not a good idea to know that you're wrong before people tell you in your face, you're wrong? Oh, really? It's a surprise, because I never thought I was wrong. Because we don't want to know we are wrong. It hurts. It's painful. We don't want to think about it. It's so ugly that we are wrong. We want to keep doing it, and then we don't want to be called you're wrong. You know why? Because we are afraid of ourselves. We don't want to know we are wrong because we are afraid of ourselves. There is a fear in your heart. You fear yourself. Your conscience will tell you, shit, man. You're wrong. We want to suppress that voice. That's why we don't even want to think about it. I did this because of him. I did this because of her. I did this because this was the situation. This was the situation. That's why I was dragged into it. It's not my fault. Because we're afraid of ourselves.
AlRa TV. Guidance brought to you